Is September 21st, 2023, and it's Thursday, and we are in BBA first semester section B, and this is the fourth class. And we are starting by asking you to tell us what we did in the previous class, right? So hope you will be able to remember what we did in the previous class. Let's start with you. What did we do in the previous class? You speak, the device will record your voice. Tell me only one thing we did last time. Only one thing. Okay, you were absent last time. You have no idea. Tell me one thing we did in the previous class.
We talked about the essay we are about to learn.
Okay, we talked about the essay we are about to learn. Which essay are we about to learn? Which essay are we going to study today?
Where do we stand?
Where do we stand? Who is the author of this essay? Where do we stand? No idea. Lisa Davis. What is the heading of the chapter in which you have the essay?
Information on the text.
It's intercultural communication. What's your name? Mehek. What's your name?
Apeksha.
Apeksha. What's your name?
Vibhuti.
I'm recording these things because when you give me a correct answer, your 100 marks for participation is intact. When you fail to answer me, it becomes 99. Okay? Everything in this class has a significance. Okay. So, can you tell me one thing we did in the previous class? What's your name? Ayush. Tell me only one thing we did in the previous class.
We learned about how communication is exchange of ideas.
Okay, how communication is exchange of ideas. Good. We talked about the definition of communication. We said communication is an exchange of ideas. Okay, tell me one thing we did in the class last time.
How to take notes while you read.
How to take notes while reading. One thing we did in class last time.
How
You can
to
tell the name also.
Vivek Patel, my name is. We read how to describe the passage in harmoniously
Okay, how to
behaved
describe the
passage.
passage. Okay, fine. Only one thing. Tell your name and tell one thing we did in class last time.
Saurabh Mokhtar, we discussed about process of reading.
Okay, we discussed the process of reading. Good. One thing we did, your name and one thing we did in class last time.
We study about cultural difference.
We studied about?
Cultural difference.
Pardon?
Cultural difference.
Cultural differences and the problems arising from these differences. What's your name?
Yagyabalke.
Yagyabalke. Tell me one thing we did in class last time.
About communication and...
We talked about communication. Okay, tell me one thing we did in class last time.
We study about which genre.
Okay, we studied about genre and we said that most will study essays. Okay, tell me one thing we did in class last time.
Yashashvi Rupani, we studied about argumentative writing, about what is an argument and basics of argument.
Okay, towards the end of the class, we had started talking about what an argument is. Every time I put a question to you and then first tell your name and then give me the response because you are not visually appearing, so I should know who was responding me. So as I watch back home, I'll make sure that I keep a track of who is participating, who is not participating. I'm very mindful in my class about who participates and who does not participate, right? Okay, so let me start the class now. So, as we read, for example, we are going to read the essay, Where Do We Stand Today? Before we start reading, if you see your book, the essay, second essay, on page number 18, there is something there is called core reading 2. And there is subheading, where do we stand? Then it says journal writing. Okay. What is this journal? Your note copy is your journal. Your note copy is your journal. Journal is a note where you keep record of daily happenings. In your journal, free write for 10 minutes on the topic of non-verbal communication. So the first assignment is writing assignment. And the kind of writing you do is free write. What is free write? You write freely without worrying about anything. You don't worry about grammar, spelling, punctuation, good idea, bad idea. The purpose is, in writing, you need ideas to write. And you need to generate ideas to write. So free writing is an idea generating technique. It is an idea generating technique. There are many other ways to generate ideas. What we do in free writing is, okay, you have a topic. The topic given to you is non-verbal communication. So I'll help you because you may have difficulty because it may be something new topic for you. Non-verbal communication is, right now I'm communicating verbally with you. You write and speak. Non-verbal communication can be through facial expression. Non-verbal communication can be through eye contact. Non-verbal communication can be through body language. It can be through posture of the body. It can be through gesture of the body. Non-verbal communication can also be through your dress, right? Non-verbal communication can also be through how you use space in public. Non-verbal communication can also be through how you regard time. Do you think time is mechanical, counted by the clock? Or do you think time has another cultural value or cultural meaning? So what I did, I gave you some points. Now, we'll do a fast write right now. The rule of fast write is that you get ready your copy, get ready your pen, and when your teacher says start, you will start. The topic is non-verbal communication. Some ideas we have got here. You can use those ideas. Rule is, you will write non-stop for 5 to 10 minutes. The teacher will go around the class and you must not stop your pen. If no idea comes, write in your copy, no idea is coming to my mind, oh God, what shall I do? And go on writing. Write, the rule is, write whatever is coming to your mind. If you have your mother's memory, write about mother. Then all of a sudden, you remember non-verbal and come back. But the fundamental rule is, if your pen stops, you are put out of the class. If your pen stops, you are out of the game. You are dead. You are dead. In some games we play dead. No? So if you stop your pen before 10 minutes, you are dead. Is that clear? So get ready. Get ready. I'll go around with my camera, but not record faces. I'll record your activity. So ready? So we will write for 10 minutes non-stop. And another rule about this activity is that you should write as fast as possible. 190, 120 km per hour. As if you are riding your Duke bike. Okay? Ready? Is my instruction clear? Everyone? Are you ready? Okay, your time starts now. Go. Write as fast as possible. If nothing comes right, no idea comes to my mind is empty, and when the idea comes, jump back. Write as fast as you can. Just, sorry, I'll check it. Hello? Hello? भन्नु त म क्लास बस्छु निस्केर फोन गर्छु ल ल Okay, stop now. So what I did, I gave you an example of an idea generating technique. Whenever you want to write about something and you have difficult time, you don't know how to write, you can do this thing. Just sit down and remember the topic, non-verbal communication. And your purpose is let's use the word vomiting. Sorry for this negative word. Vomit everything gushingly and bring it to page. We call this as discovery of idea. Writing is discovery. Writing is discovery. In what sense? Before Rupani scribbled this page, probably he didn't remember he had these ideas. But now as he wrote, his ideas have come on the page. So when you write, the benefit of writing is that when you write, the thoughts that were lying in your mind and which you were not aware about, the thoughts come black and white on the page. Now they're recorded and you can come back to them and you can review them. So writing is discovery. When we write, we discover the ideas that we have in our mind. And if we are not writing, we cannot discover what ideas we have. And if you want to learn one significant skill at the university, if you want to learn one significant skill at the university, the most important skill at the university is writing. Okay? There is no other activity as important as writing. If you are a better writer, in future, you will be paid higher salary. Your colleagues who don't know how to write, they get less salary. If you know how to write, you get more salary. Writing is a very significant interpersonal communication skill you should develop. And today I gave you an example of one technique, that is fast write. Now we'll come to the essay. Now, okay. As we read something, first we remember what we read, then we try to understand what we read, then we analyze what we read, then we synthesize ideas, then we evaluate what we read, then we apply our knowledge to solve a problem, and finally we create a new knowledge. These are some of the learning objectives according to Benjamin Bloom. Now, let's talk about how do we read arguments, because the first reading that we are going to do in our course now is an argumentative reading. Where do we stand? Let me check the pre-reading instruction before I move. There is, again, previewing the topic. I won't discuss this in class. You check home and do it. Then you have agreeing, disagreeing. There are statements, right? Agree or disagree. You do it. I won't discuss in class. Now I'll go to next page 19. Taking notes while you read. Taking notes while you read. This is called active reading. See, there are two ways of reading, more than two. One is reading for pleasure. Reading for pleasure. If you are reading a novel for pleasure, you might choose not to take any note. Right? You just relish, you enjoy. Another is reading for learning. Reading for learning. And academic reading is reading for learning. In college, we read to learn. We might enjoy the process, I agree, but primary purpose is not pleasure. Primary purpose is learning. Now, when you read to learn, reading is also process. Reading is also process. There is something called pre-reading. There is something called while reading. There is something called post-reading. For example, the writing activity read earlier, that is pre-reading activity. That is pre-reading activity. For example, previewing the topic, this is pre-reading activity. For example, agreeing, disagreeing, this is pre-reading activity. And what is the purpose of these exercises? The purpose of these exercises is to warm up your ideas and to prepare you for the reading. How? By giving you some idea what you can expect in the coming text. Now, on page 19, we move to while reading activity. There is something called active reading. There is something called active reading. What is active reading? Active reading is taking notes as you read. Active reading is underlining as you read. Active reading is highlighting as you read. Active reading is annotating as you read. What is annotation? Annotation is making notes at the margin. So, in academic reading, you should never read without a pen in your hand. You should never read without having a notebook open. Because in academic reading, your purpose is learning. Your purpose is scanning for information or skimming for information. Reading has two aspects: scanning and skimming. When you scan, for example, okay, now in this class, I want to see which student has come not in college dress but in their home dress. Now I'm scanning. I'm scanning. I'm looking at every student carefully. And now I get one. I scanned one example. She is not in colleges today. She might be getting it done, ready from the tailor. Now I scan again. And I go back. Oh, here is one person in home dress. Oh, here is a third fellow in not college dress. What I did? I was scanning. I was scanning. When you scan, you look for particular information, right? I right now went around the class looking for particular people not in college dress. What is skimming? I have a quick look of the whole class and I see, oh, most of the students are in college dress. General impression. Skimming is getting the general idea, right? Scanning is looking for a particular information. So when you read, you can scan or skim. Okay, let me. Okay, now we come to the essay. Now there we have notes. When you read an argument, the first thing is you pay attention to context or situation. This is also known as rhetorical situation in reading. For example, you ask a question. Who is speaking? Where are they speaking? When are they speaking? Then What speech are they giving? What is speech or what message? Then, to whom are they speaking? To whom? To whom means the audience. Then, what is the occasion in which they are speaking? What are the values and beliefs of the speaker? What are the values and beliefs of the reader? Now, okay, in the following article, Lisa Davis, okay, who is speaking? Lisa Davis. And we call this speaker as rhetor. We call this speaker as rhetor. We also call this speaker as writer. We can also call them as author. Okay, in the following article, now ask a question. What is the genre? We have the answer. The genre is article. What kind of article? Essay. What kind of essay? Argumentative essay. Look. A freelance writer in the United States focuses on cultural differences in the use of personal space. Somewhere I wrote, okay, where, when, what is speech? What is speech are they giving? What is the message? The message is cultural differences in the use of personal space. This is the speech, right? Topic, subject matter. Where are they speaking? We'll find out. One type of non-verbal communication. Message again, right here. Non-verbal communication. Okay. And on problems arising from these differences, note down here. Problems arising from these differences. Okay, what? Message, speech. Where Do We Stand was originally published in the magazine In Health in 1990. Okay, let's write container or forum. By container or forum, by container we mean where the article was published. So right here, container, forum. In Health 1990. Now let's read the paragraph. Call it the dance of the jet set, the diplomat's tango. A man from the Middle East, say, falls into conversation with an American, becomes animated, takes a, let me check if it is turned on. It's turned off. Now it's turned on. Okay. The American makes a slight postural adjustment, shifts his feet, edges backward, a little more tuck, and the Arab advances, a little more tuck, and the American retreats. By the end of the cocktail party, says Middle East expert Peter Bechtold of the State Department's Foreign Service Institute, you have an American in each corner of the room because that's as far as they can back up. So we can easily say, where are they speaking? It says, call it a dance of the jet set. Who is a jet set? Wealthy people who travel around the world from one fashionable place to another. Call it the dance of the jet set, the diplomat's tango. Here is a hint. State Department of Foreign Service Institute. So they are in a party. Whose party? They are in a diplomat's party. Right? They are in a diplomat's party. Where? When we are not clear, we'll see what we know. Who is speaking? We know. Now, there are two types of answer. Who is speaking? One is actual speaker, Lisa Davis. Another is textual speaker. There are two types of speakers. Actual speaker is the writer of the essay. Textual speaker means who is telling us the things from the story or essay. For example, look here. Call it the dance of the jet set, the diplomat's tango. A man from Middle East, say, falls into conversation with an American, becomes animated, takes a step forward. The American makes a slight postural adjustment, shifts his feet, edges backward, a little more talk, and the Arab advances, a little more talk, and the American retreats. By the end of the cocktail party, look, this sentence is in inverted comma. Why do you think the statement is put in inverted comma? Why do you think this sentence is in inverted comma? When do you put a statement between inverted commas? When you didn't say it, somebody said it, and you are reporting. You are reporting. You can report a statement directly or indirectly. If you report it directly, we call it direct speech. If you report indirectly, we call it indirect speech. Now, it's important to know because this is known as quotation. In academic writing, you can borrow others' ideas in 4 ways. You can summarize their idea, you can paraphrase their idea, or you can quote their idea, or you can just write the gist of what they say. Here you see Lisa Davis is quoting, and when you quote, you must put inverted commas before the statement and after the statement, and you must mention who said it. For example, look here. By the end of the cocktail party, says Middle East expert Peter Bechtold. So who is saying it? Middle East expert. What is the name? P-E-T-R, Peter, B-E-C-S-T-O-L-D. They say academic writing is reliable because in academic reading, in academic writing, we read ideas of expert people. In academic writing and reading, we read ideas of expert people. Look here, she's quoting a line. Whose line is it? Middle East expert Peter Bechtold. What does he mean? Peter Bechtold works at State Department of Foreign Service Institute in America, and Peter Bechtold has expert knowledge about the culture of Middle East. And Peter Bechtold is being quoted here by this writer. Move ahead. You have an American in each corner of the room because that's as far as they can back up. Again, the last sentence is also quoted. Now, in academic writing, you say something. For example, this writer says that there is an American in every corner. You say something, and when you say something, you are making a point. You are making a point, and it is not enough that you say something. If only you say, nobody will believe you. The important thing is that besides you say, it's also important that you back up what you're saying, right? For example, Lisa Davis says that, what does he say? There is an American, there is an Arabian, both of them are in a cocktail party. Now, the Arabian approaches the American, and the American backs off. The Arabian keeps approaching, the American keeps backing off. Finally, there is one American in every corner, because that's the farthest they can back off. There is no space. What are you seeing here? Two things. What the writer says, how does the writer say it? What does the writer say? Writer says there are cultural differences in the way an American uses space and in the way an Arabian uses space. In this paragraph, Lisa Davis says there are cultural differences in the way an American uses space. They maintain distance. And in the way an Arabian uses space, they come closer. And this difference brings problem. It brings a problem. As you can see, the Americans are in the corner. Cultural difference and the problem. If you remember last time, we read the picture in chapter 1, opening chapter. And there was a commentary below the picture. Do you remember? You saw how this chapter will discuss cultural differences and the problems. Here you see the cultural differences are about the use of space. Now, how does Lisa Davis say this thing? How does Lisa Davis say this thing? She says this thing by portraying a scene from the cocktail party for diplomats. What does she say? She says there are cultural differences in the way Americans and Arabians use space. How does she say? She says this by portraying a scene about diplomats' cocktail party. And plus, How does she say? She says by quoting. She says it by quoting. She makes a point and then she quotes somebody to support her